Like message her and tell her to dress up in something weird.
What?
You have to wear.
So you getting
What kind of podcast is this?
Well, just make it easier, to be honest.
Just imagine that. Hey Ellie,
You
can
have
you
to
wear
dress
something weird?
just dressed up for the podcast.
She'll be like, the fuck is this?
Sad times in my head. That's feelings come up, just let them go. Change my life. Change the way I think. Change my life.
Been very emotional.
Welcome, everyone. This is the podcast.
Welcome back to Ellie's podcast.
Yep.
If you had a podcast, what would you call it?
I am going to have one
Oh.
next year.
What are you going to call it?
Elvolve.
Of course.
I was thinking that. I was like, maybe it's just mix it up for the podcast, but no.
No, I'll keep it the same.
Have to. Branded. How'd you come up with Elvolve?
My friend did. Abby.
Nice.
She was like, let's do something with your name. Let's like play with your name and different things. She was like, enlightenment. And I was like,
Close.
Baby
She's-
pile.
yeah. And then she's like, Elvolve. I'm like, okay.
There you go. Yeah.
It is
Sick.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Enlightenment.
Should went with that.
Mm.
All right.
All right, well.
Let's do this. Well, welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Ty, and this is Jacob. And there's
That is
Maxie.
us.
That's us. No, I'm a bit nervous now for some reason. I don't know why. But here we
Every
are.
time, man.
We just flick on.
Say
And
something weird. Say something weird.
do you know how many people after that podcast said to me, say something weird?
No.
Oh, no, wear something
Swear to
weird.
God.
So many
Swear to
people messaged me like,
Yeah.
you should wear something weird. And I'm like, it stuck with me.
Do you know yours was like a jinx, I guess, in a say, because like we had yours and then we had Tegan Martin's.
Yes.
And then we had Jordan Simmies down at YKTR and then Sandor literally the week after that. So it was like 4 weeks of like out there people, like heaps well-known people.
I've never been so nervous before in my life.
Each one we were just like, fucking hell, don't say anything weird, don't say anything weird. I'd drive
You
down
should have
to
seen us
Simi.
at Simi. Like we were, we went for breakfast and we both ordered food and not one of us touched our food. And we just sat there and looked at it. And then they were like, oh, they're ready for you. And we both just looked at each other like, oh my God.
Like I was shitting myself.
Why?
Because he
'Cause
was like,
he's like someone we
who's
wanted.
someone that you look up to that you've been looking up to for like 5+ years?
Oh, maybe like a Mad Dog from America, like Aggie or I Am Sahara Rose or
Yeah.
Fuck
so
it.
that would
Aubrey-
be Aubrey.
Aubrey Marcus.
Yeah.
I'd shit myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was us.
So that was us.
And then another thing that threw it off, as we're walking in, that his ex-girlfriend, Sammy Robson or something, walked down the thing. And I was like, she just looked at me, she's like, hey. And I was like, and I was just,
There's celebrities everywhere.
yeah, it was. And then I was like, what the fuck is going on? Then they all like walked out and we were just like walking in. Me and Jake were just looking at each other like, what is happening?
All I kept saying to myself was like, I do not belong here, hey. Like,
Yeah.
this is not
It was funny as we finished everything, we were just like, we were all normal. We walked around the corner and both of us were like little kids, hey, just like, yes, and just jumping around.
We did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did it, stuff up. Yes.
I didn't say anything weird.
I remember the first question. Have you ever had like a massive ball of anxiety out of body and you're like, I was staring at him and he's looking at me and I'm like, come on, Jacob. I like got it out and I was like, yes.
I was freaking the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fuck, it was funny.
You're just like sitting like holding on to the like the arms. He's like, oh.
He gets
Well-
up, it's just like a torn handprint in a leather chair.
After I was traumatized from what I did when I said wear something weird with you, and so many people kept reminding me about it, I was a bit
Oh.
stressed, but we got through
Hey,
it.
I forgive you.
Fuck, that was
Thanks.
funny.
You haven't fucked it yet.
Tahi, what were you going to wear?
I was meant to wear a suit today, but I didn't fit it.
Yeah, that was the plan,
Oof,
listeners.
big boy.
So obviously on our last potty, if you guys were watching,
was
the original plan was Tahi was going to wear a suit.
and hand her a rose.
Get down on one knee.
Yeah.
But let's just
Suppose.
say the years have not served us very well. And things that used
Well-
to fit.
I thought me doing my running would help me fit a bit of lose a bit of weight, but
The
it
real
didn't.
reason why Tahi is doing this run.
Yeah, that's it.
Just
to get yeah.
do the suit.
One of the apprentices was at work. He's like, you should wear your Crocs and write, will you marry me on it? And I was just like, that's a bit too much for us.
What were your Crocs?
Yeah.
Do
And
you have
like,
those little
you can put like little sticky things on it.
Yeah.
Imagine. I was like to him, I was like, should I wear my suit and Crocs? And he's like, yes. So I got the suit, the Crocs fit, but the suit
Crocs were
didn't.
fine.
The Crocs were perfect. Suit jacket, not so much.
I did say the Crocs will fit in 3 years' time too, but
yeah.
the suit.
No. But
Never know.
Yeah.
never know.
Never know. Never know. Anyway.
Well, by the way, also everyone, we have Elly
Yeah,
on the
Elly's on the
podcast.
podcast as well.
Yeah,
We
I'm
didn't
Elly.
introduce- Yeah.
Hey,
Hang on, hang on.
Always a clap.
There is a clap going on right now. You just can't hear it. Oh,
Oh, there goes Kyle.
there you go.
That wasn't that bad.
that was good.
Oh, anyway, what's going on, mate?
Heaps.
Yeah, busy.
You know, you always like go to say not much, and then you're like, actually, yeah, heaps is going on. Yeah, no, life is amazing. So much has happened since I last caught up with you boys. I think we mainly spoke about the ayahuasca journey and
Yeah.
the healing that I was on
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically the universe just has kicked me in the ass and thrown me in a totally different direction.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, which we'll get to in a second.
Yes.
So I think everyone will be hanging off their seats waiting to see what's yeah, I won't spoil it. But anyway, how are you, mate? What's been going on?
Not too much. Just working.
Yep.
A lot. Had a bit of a
Me before. You know when people say like not much and there's a lot going on?
Yeah, I'm fucking flat out, mate.
well, I actually had a pretty hectic week this week. Old man went into hospital
Oh, shit, man.
and but he's all good now, thank God. So that kind of
Shout out, Mama.
Yeah, big mama. We'll give him a little
Yeah, I'll give him a
applause.
applause. Yep. There you go. Shout out, Mama. I know you're doing well.
Yeah, his heart was out of rhythm and he just a bit sick at the moment, but he's back on the mend. So that kind of threw me off, and then just busy concreting, doing this training. But yeah, I'm good. How are you?
How are you,
Max?
Kyle?
Kyle.
Hey,
You do look like a Kyle, bro.
Why am
Yeah,
I
show the
Kyle?
monster can. That's what we're talking about. You're a Kyle.
Yeah, makes you want to go punch your wife. Yeah, no, I'm good. Besides actually punching wives.
Oh, bro.
No,
Okay, we've got to cut that out. 6 minutes.
No.
Hey, we made it further than last week.
Yeah. Last week was like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
We just kind of go off topic way too much,
Yeah.
but we're good. We're good. How are you, Max?
Yeah, good, mate. Had a, like you say, pretty hectic week at work. I think it might have been something to do with the new moon coming in, and yeah, everything just getting a bit crazy. Big energy.
The
Get
full
your crystals
moon.
out, baby.
Full moon, that one. Yeah, full moon. That one. Crystal, I need to get my crystals out. No, it was good. Pretty hectic couple of days at work. Yeah, lots going on. Very sort of windy and dry and dusty. So, you know, everything, all the EPA want to be out there having a look at us. Things like that. Bit of stress. But other than that, mate, it's been good. Got to try and really rip into sort of the coaching videos that we got going for Polaris. Got to do that too this weekend. So it just doesn't stop, mate.
We're always on, baby.
Always.
Always
good,
something.
Big boy, how you go?
How am I going? Good. Busy. I was
I was
just
like,
thinking,
I was like, you had to say anything
no, I was
else.
like, everything just flooded in at once. What I've been doing.
Where do I start?
New clients this week, which is great. Reconnections going well. New reconnections coming out next
weekend.
Which is gonna be cool.
Sunday, yeah.
Getting prepped for our stuff, which we'll speak about as well. Yeah, that's about it.
And a lot of mowing.
And a lot of mowing today. Yeah.
You actually got injured?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your injury?
Oh, no, not really. Lauren will
You want to talk
get at me. I've already
Actually, have a little bit of a cut.
bro, it was bleeding. Like blood.
Hey, chick stick scars, brother.
I don't know.
Don't know about Lauren, man.
Been with her for 14 years.
She's still here.
I think she's over the scars. I think
how-
it's more, give me my personal space and shut the fuck up. That's what she likes. But, you know, yeah. Got hit in the face with a twig at mowing today, but we're here. We're good.
What happens when you're the man of the household,
Yeah, right?
right?
Yeah.
It's a part of being masculine. Sticks in ice.
You okay? You're tired, eh?
I'm so tired, man. Yeah.
Have some of this Monster, mate. Have some
Ali's got tonsillitis at the moment, and she doesn't have any symptoms of having tonsillitis except for
She has.
snoring. That's it. So her tonsils are like swollen over, but when she goes to sleep, it's like complete snore fest.
Like me.
Put her
That
outside or
sucks.
something.
Anyway,
Be like me on the lounge.
yeah.
Oh, that was horrible.
Time over.
Yeah. Trying to record a video and all you hear in the background is.
I cannot deal with snorers, eh?
I'm out.
I don't snore or fart.
Bro, don't even.
Fuck, you're terrible.
Don't even.
Let's just move on.
Don't worry though. I do have a very high tech sleep apnea machine.
The CPAP.
Oh yeah, it's
It looks
awesome.
like Tom Cruise in Top Gun.
No, he's just like
I do. It's like all there.
to the danger zone.
as he slowly falls asleep.
Fly high, baby.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh Jesus, man.
Poor Maxie.
No, it's all right.
No.
And on and chicks digging scars, bro. Have you seen my rig? How many I've got? That's not the case.
Must just be me then,
It is you, man. You're just a good-looking Brewster.
maybe.
Well, let's
Could be the scars, we don't know. No. Okay, let's get back
get a
on
bit
this.
off topic.
Yeah. So let's talk about Elvolve.
dun, dun, dun.
Yes. So I guess the way that I got into coaching, because I didn't even know what a coach was, hey? Like, I didn't really know.
Bit foreign.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah.
even know. Like, and I'd done like the podcast with you guys, obviously.
Mm.
And it's just so funny. I was doing a podcast after with my friend Trav, the technician, Ledge, and we were just sharing our healing journeys and what we've been through since we last caught up, because it's quite funny. We've almost been in parallel with each other with our journeys. Like when we first met, neither of us had really gotten into it, but we're still like quite interested in spirituality and sort of like scraping the surface. And then, you know, we reconnected like 2 years later and he was like, hey, El, do you want to do a podcast and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, for sure. Let's do it. And we're just sharing our stories. And he was just telling me about the NLP course that he did. And he was just like, wow, I just really feel like, you know, this is something that you should do, blah, blah, blah. And to give you some context of how it dropped in and was just so divinely timed was in March, I went through like a bit of a heartbreak and got a tarot card reading. And one of the things that this chick said, she was talking about my current job and she was like, you know, like you like it, but like, you know, it's not really lighting you up. Like, you know, you could kind of stay with it or this or that. And then she was like, look, there's something in July and you need to do that. And she was like, and then after your birthday, everything will be new. And I was like, okay, sweet. And I didn't really pay that much attention to what she said because in the moment I wasn't really feeling like she was landing on me. And she said one thing about my current work. And she was like, there's going to be a restructure at your work. And I was like, oh, there already was one. And she was like, no, there'll be another one. Like someone's going to get fired. Your role's going to change. You're not going to like the change that it's had, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, sure. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, shit. Like that. What else did she say? And then so when I'm on this call with Trav and he's chatting, he's like, oh, I just really feel like you should do this NLP coaching course, blah, blah, blah. And then it just went bing. And I said, I just like kind of like grabbed myself. I don't know. And I was like, anyway, and I was just like, if you tell me it's in July, and he was like, it is in July. And I was like, get fucked. And so, yeah, without any questions or even looking into it, I was like, I'm gone. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of tarots, man, they are pretty cool. Shout out to my mate Gina. She has done a few for me, and you're just like, you think about it, you're like, maybe, and then you know some of the readings she's given me like what happened in the next couple of days. She's like, yeah, something's going to happen in the next couple of days, and you're going to be a bit thrown by it. And I'm like, we'll see what happens. Then boom, it happens. Even on a night shift, I said, am I going to have a safe shift? And she's like, it's going to be riddled with anxiety. And I was like, oh, great.
That was it. She just started it there.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Whole shift.
And then I get a flat tire. I'm like, oh, there we go. So I parked that up and I said, all right, that's my bad luck. No worries. And then 4 o'clock in the morning, emergency. Digger's on fire. Okay, down we go. Fix her up. That was it. Everyone was safe. Don't worry, guys. It's all good. But yeah, it was just like, riddled with anxiety.
Yeah.
Great.
It's wild.
They're cool. Definitely get one.
And so she would,
Sorry.
No, thank you.
Still on the show.
No,
you.
thank
Elly
you.
Miles
It
podcast.
interests me. I love it. And so, and then I was like, okay, I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it. So I just called up and I was like, she was like, oh, do you want to like learn about it a bit? I'm like, no. The angels want me to go. I'm going. And so I enrolled. I did it. I went over to the Gold Coast and I was more so going with the intention to just do it for my own personal development and healing. Like, again, I didn't even know what a coach was. And that, you know, I was just like, yeah, I'm just here for my own, like, personal development and blah, 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 blah. And then, like, 3 days in, I was like, we did this amazing technique around money. And I've, in the past, had a bit of made some poor choices around money and just hadn't taken responsibility for how I managed my money. And we did this perceptual positions technique, which totally reframed that. And that was like, wow. And then I was like, I really want to come back in November for Master Prac. It's X amount of money. However, like, you know, I do have that in my tax account and I could take it out of there, which is what I've always done, which is why I'm in a fucking shit position right now, because I haven't been taking responsibility and being, responsible. And so anyway, I was like, it was just like my intuition was like popping off the entire week, just like do this, say this. And it was just every single time I listened to it, it was just affirmed that it was like, yes. And I was like, wow. And so when I was like, I want to do Master Prac, and I was like, well, you have everything within yourself to make that money this week, right here, right now, doing the coaching. Put it out there. And then I had like 5 or 6 discovery calls that week, signed 4 clients.
So good.
And that paid for Master Prac and the integrated business course. And, you know, within experiencing all of the healing and the incredible transformation that it had for me on a personal level, I was like, this is what I'm meant to do for people. And like looking back on the last 2 years of my life, it just all makes perfect sense. Like going on TV, like building that audience and that profile, sharing the struggles that I had. You know, I did my kinesiology, I did all my breath work and all this and that, and, you know, sharing the struggles and did my ayahuasca and just taking everybody along that journey with me to then get to the point where it's like, now it's time for me to help and I've got the credibility. You've seen me do the work. Like, and now I've actually got the tools that fucking work and are life-changing. So I had my full divine timing is real, like, realization recently, which is just so perfect and so amazing. And it's just been like the best new cycle that I've stepped into, and just, really amazing.
Awesome. Fuck yeah.
Well, actually, speaking on that, I was going to ask you, somebody who goes through a lot of your self-development practices, what are some of the things and measures that you can check in with yourself to know that it's working? Because I know, you know, there's a lot of people out there, I'm not saying yourself, but other people who just do it for self-work's sake. They just say, oh, I'm doing it, but they're not really getting anything out of it. So I was going to ask, what sort of measures and what sort of, you know, KPIs in a way do you look at and go, no, this is actually working? Or if it doesn't, do you go then back and go, okay, I need to change something?
Oh, yeah. I think it's all about reflection at the end of the day, and then just being aware of how you've shown up previously in life and in interactions and relationships and situations, and then reflecting back and being like, hang on, that would have triggered me massively in the past and now it doesn't. That's amazing. And so I'm really loving getting back into journaling. It was something that I used as a tool when I was in like a really dark place, just to help myself release and then give myself advice from connecting to my angels. I would just like vent and be like, fuck this, fuck that, man. Like just like download all this shit on like my first few pages, and then I would be like, okay, and then I would click my pen to a different color and I'd be like, angels.
Angels like this bitch.
I'm like, angels, let's go. And then it's like, Elly, darling, we love you. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, just like giving myself reassurance. And just the stuff that would come out of me from that in itself was like mind blowing. Being like, wow, all of this reassurance and support that I need, I've already got it inside myself, which is, you know, so beautiful. And so journaling has been a great way to reflect as well. And you can't hide from yourself when you journal.
Yeah.
No.
And I was hiding from myself for a little while recently. And then I was like, bitch. Not any longer. Not today.
Angels are back.
That's it.
Yeah. And that, like, literally my first journal entry was because I've got, you know, those classic, like 4-color pens. I've got a pastel color version. So it's got like purple, blue, pink.
Nice.
And purple, blue, pink, and green. Yep. And so pink is my angels. And I went to click the purple, but accidentally clicked the pink, and I thought I was going to be writing from myself, and it just started running, well, she's back. Like, they were calling me out. I was like, oh, okay, you've got some stuff to say to me.
You read that back, you're like, Okay.
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Forgive me.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome story, and that's the thing as well. Like when you're stepping into this space, we're pretty much all teaching the same thing, right? Like we're all doing the same thing for someone. It's about how you do it and how you want to do it and what's the different ways you want to implement things. So people are going to be attracted to you as a person and what you've done over all the years and being so authentic and stuff like that as well. But, you know, stepping into this now, it's not like you need to go out and I guess like learn all of these amazing things. It's just like, well, this is the road I've walked on. I know you're relating to me because you've been down the similar road.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you what I've done.
Because like attracts like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it's funny because, you know, everyone that is close to me that see me step into this space, they're just like, you've been doing this for years anyway. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You're literally the one that, you know, changes people's mindsets just by like the way you reframe things. And like now I'm like, I have been doing that. Like
now it's
for
just a
long
money
time.
exchange, and it's just like, yep, you invest into this, and now I literally have it as my source of income. So
yeah. So yeah, I'm just so grateful, and yeah, I've really just had like my, what do you call it? Just like
Purpose, I guess.
my purpose has actually landed for me, which has been such an amazing feeling.
Divine
what's
intervention.
has it been a few months now since it's launching it?
Since July, yeah.
Yeah, cool. What's it been like so far? For
Amazing.
you, I guess for us to start with.
In terms of me being a coach,
Yeah, like how are you finding it?
I fucking love it. I love it so much. Honestly, it doesn't even feel like work to me. It just lights me up, you know, and because I've like firsthand experienced the shifts from the unconscious work and the unconscious techniques that, you know, I'm able to facilitate. And it's just like when you see the difference in your first few clients, it's just like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And it's just, you know, like I had my client send me something the other day and it was just this meme of like someone like in this busy train station just grooving, just dancing, like just like living their best life. And it was like, you know, life gets to be pretty amazing when you stop giving a fuck about what everyone else thinks. And she was like, I was in the hairdresser the other day and, you know, my hairdresser was saying like, you're so different. Like, look at you. And she was like telling her about what she'd been doing. And then her hairdresser sent her that and was like, this is you. Like, this is you now. And it's like when they share, you know, the observations that people close to them have made about them and then they relay that to me, it's just like, so beautiful.
Yeah, that's all so good. So good. And trust me, those messages don't stop, and also they never lose their like, I guess, power. Every time you read one, you're like I had one off I probably shouldn't say their name, but they're like 6 weeks into the shift and they're like, their main outcome was like, I want to feel like I'm walking on a cloud. That was like one of their main outcomes. Like 6 weeks in, she's just like, Jacob, ... I'm walking on clouds.
Yeah.
Like those feelings it just doesn't stop. Like I literally had to pull the car over and I was like awareness, you sit with it, like you get the goosebumps, you like well up in your eyes, you're like, this is what we get to do.
Yes, this is the mission. It's so beautiful and it's such a gift. And this is something that I say to my clients all the time because, you know, often it always comes back to the childhood and the parents and stuff. And I'm like, we've been blessed with a gift to have the awareness and to actually be able to, you know, face this stuff and heal it. It's like
100%.
Our parents, like they were doing the best they could with what they had and they may never have the awareness. They may always live in that fear and that suffering and that, you know, all those limiting beliefs. And it's like, we're fucking lucky. Let's face this shit. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
You get to heal it. Like, that is great.
Yeah, what's the saying? It's like where you're doing the best that you can with the resources you've been given.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that's, you know, that's what it's one of the presuppositions we use in our programs. It's like, you know, don't think of the past of like you've been doing such a shit job. It's just like, well, like look at what you were given. What did you learn? You know, you can only do what you've got. So, you know, it's it never stops those feelings. It's unreal. So good. Such a good place to be in, especially seeing them like light up. Especially at the start where they're like, I don't know if this is going to work. And then they start doing it and they're like, holy fuck, it's working. Like, holy fuck, like I'm starting to transition into this place now. It's
literally.
Yeah.
I just worked through anger with one of my clients today and I'm doing her for free because she's she's such a beautiful soul, and like I knew her through a different place that I worked, and I just know that she needs it. And it was like we did a discovery call, and for whatever reason financially they couldn't make it work, and my intuition was just like, do it anyway, just like yelling at me, and I was like, I'm doing it anyway. And yeah, we worked through anger today, and she was like, what did you just do to me? She was like, you're a wizard. And I was
I'm a what?
I was like, yeah, no, that's what I'm. That's
Fucking what?
Speaking
oh,
of,
and rest in peace.
yes, speaking of wizards.
What do you mean?
The great Michael Gambon, the actor who played
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore from 3
When?
to 7, he died today. Man,
Yeah.
I'm fucking devastated.
That
He was a
hurts, man.
fantastic
That's
actor.
childhood.
I
watch Harry
know.
Potter.
Well, remember we lost the first Dumbledore after the Philosopher's Stone.
No, Chamber of Secrets.
Chambers.
Chamber of
Chamber of
Secrets,
Secrets.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No.
Pardon me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, done.
What happened?
Can I sit somewhere else? No. I'm joking.
Rude. Nah, it's all right.
I'm getting some.
Oh, did you shit?
No.
I thought you did he not?
Did you shit? Is that what's happening?
No.
What
Ripped
happened?
guts?
No, I just corrected
just-
her on her
Oh.
incorrect knowledge
Oh.
of Harry Potter.
I thought he farted.
I thought you just shit
Yeah,
yourself.
so did I. I was like,
Can I move? I'm like,
all,
what's he shit himself? Yeah. See what he want.
all those monsters, man. Those monsters.
It just cuts to like the camera's like on Max in the toilet, just like
Shut
producing
everything
in the
off.
toilet. It's like, shut up, you stay in there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, rest in peace. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Not only that, he was in Ali G into House as
Yeah.
the Prime Minister. He was in
No,
Sleepy
he
Hollow.
was
with
only
Johnny
Dumbledore
Depp.
to me.
Yeah.
Jeez, well, come on.
Oh man. Far out.
it's like McLovin. Just saying, McLovin can't play anyone else but him. That,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Christopher Muntz plays
I don't know him, but
Yep.
McLovin.
That's true. Far out, eh?
Yeah.
typecast.
So
So now you throw me.
Sorry, mate.
anyway, client worked through anger. She loved it. It was
Cool.
amazing. So rewarding. We love the shit. It's great.
It's awesome.
And it actually blows my mind because I reflect on when I didn't know what a coach was, and now I know what a coach is. Now I know what
Is was when
and I'm just like, how don't people know? How don't people know?
fucking preach.
If you're listening and you don't know what a coach is, go get one. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, this is what I said on my stories the other day. I was like, could you imagine like growing up in the desert and just not knowing that there's grass out there? It's kind of like what, it's kind of
I
like,
said it fucking better myself.
that's kind of how I was living before finding out what coaching was.
Hey, Ellie. Try have been speaking to a social media account for 6 years, telling this to people, and I'm just like, can people start to listen already? Like, what's going on?
You did well.
Fucking, it is working, but like,
You've done well.
It's just wild. It is. It is absolutely wild.
I think I went through like 6 weeks of doing work with Jacob, and people were like, "What's he doing?" I was like, "Honestly, I fucking don't really know, but I feel really good."
No, but I feel really good.
100%. Oh, it's
For ages, people were like, I was trying to explain like what a coach is, and then I'd say it, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"You
they're
just
like,
got to do it."
they're like life coach.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, sorry. If you had one car for your entire life, would you, maybe get it serviced a couple of times? You've got one mind. Maybe get it serviced a couple of times. You know?
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, and it's like, there's bloody. It's like there's so many different ways, so many different like paths you can take for healing and mental health. We've grown up in a society where the government rules all, and we think, oh, I have to go to a fucking psychologist or a psychiatrist. That's the only way. And then they have a horrible experience. It doesn't work. Then they think there's no hope.
yeah.
And they just close themselves off to all other opportunities and possibilities in terms of personal development and healing.
You literally just said our main story
Yeah.
that we've been
Yep.
drumming for the last few months.
Yeah.
It's like gone are the days of this one modality of going to someone that hasn't walked the road before. Like, and they do, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or anything like that, but that's not the only way to do it. You know,
Well,
it's not just that way. There is so many other ways, and that's what we're here for. We're here to show you
spot on,
these
man.
other ways, you know,
Yeah.
and they work.
Yeah. Well, speaking personally, man, that happened to me. I went to a psychiatrist and psychologist, and look, by all means, they got their place. But the ones I experienced just didn't work. Just didn't work for me. Straight away, it's like, oh, this is the reason, this is the reason, this is the reason. I'm like, well, no, they're things I've been doing because of the way I feel, not because of, why, not the reason why I feel this way. And they're like, oh, well, you need to go on this, need to go on this, need to go on this. And I'm like, oh, no, thank you. I
Yeah,
don't
my
wanna do that.
biggest experience with that.
Sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah,
now tell
bro.
them.
Oh,
Where
well, as
you're
soon
now.
as, now I'm off everything. I've been off it for a long time, but now I'm involved in all of this. Like I've
So
literally in the
like
last
in terms
year,
of like anti-anxiety and antidepressants. Yeah. And can I ask you, when you were on them, did you still feel anxious and depressed?
Yep.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, of course it did. It just, I think the only thing that stopped me was going over the edge. It probably got me right to the edge and probably, I don't know, 6-7 feet down that black pit, and maybe I'll be able to pull myself out. The only reason I was able to pull myself out was because of these guys.
Yeah.
Was Polaris, because I had the techniques to then pull myself back out, and then after a while, it was like, oh, I can do it myself. It's all about the mindset within yourself, and then loving myself, knowing my worth, all these different techniques and modalities. I love that word you keep using, but yeah, the different modalities to actually change your mindset, shift your mindset. The whole reason it's called the shift, and then it's So here he goes, he's going to tear up again because this is a message straight to him. It's exactly what happened. I off him for a long time. I think I got off him within a couple of months of him because I was like, nah.
It's been a few months now, definitely.
Yeah, shit, yeah. And I'm feeling amazing.
I
Feeling great.
love that. See, it's like, you can relate it. Let's relate it to something else. It's like there's so many different ways one could. Give me something, boys.
Before you think of this is how I know she's stepping into a coach now. This is a thing for both you boys. When you see someone stepping into a coach, they start to do metaphorical learning.
Yeah.
So they're like, I'm going to use this metaphor so you understand, so you get out of your own headspace. I
It
do it all the time.
It's to
I'm seeing you
bypass
do it,
the
I'm like,
critical. It's to bypass the critical something.
exactly, yes.
I forget the word.
Yes. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So there's so many different ways, for example, to clean a house. I don't know why I said that. You could clean it yourself. You could hire someone to clean it. You could use different products, this or that, whatever. That's not the greatest example. Give me
There's a
something
good
else.
one. There was a good one
Work
on
on
TikTok
booty.
that was like,
Work on your booty. Gym.
Yeah.
Gym analogies. They're the ones that I do, man.
Yeah, this
Here
is
comes
great.
Carl, man.
This is a great one. Okay,
Yeah.
there's so many different ways you could grow a bum.
There
You could buy a program online and you could be working on it yourself.
Yep.
You could potentially be like, I will get a coach and I'll do that. You could try out group training. What else could you do? Go pinpoint. You could
Little
do.
plug?
Butt plug. Yeah, always got to do that when you squat.
Anyway, the thing is, let's just say the online program didn't work.
Yep.
Does that mean that it's just going to
Exactly,
be
yeah.
impossible for you to grow a bum?
No, most people just go get another
Try
coach, I
something
think.
different.
Do
So
something
same
different, yeah.
thing, with the mental health. If one thing doesn't work, try something different. It's
Yeah.
not your path forward. There's no failure, guys. There's only feedback. So choose differently.
There's another one. The thing I seen on TikTok was like, how many additional pieces can you get to like 10, right? So you could do 5 + 5, you could do 2 × 5, you could do 9 + 1, 8 + 2. There's so many ways you can do it. So and they're all correct. So why would you say the other ones aren't going to work when they are going to work? So,
Yep.
yeah.
That's right. That's how you get to squat 385 kilos. Yeah. Oh, shut up. Just got to drop that, mate.
You're banned from mothers, brother. I mean, what are they? Mothers? Yeah.
Monsters.
I don't know, mothers? Monsters?
Monsters.
I don't know.
Do you want to give a description on what you're doing in Elvolve and what that looks like?
Yeah. So there's lots of things that I will do. Mainly right now, I work one-on-one with people, and I also have a group program with 13 girls in it, 10-week
Awesome.
program, which is amazing.
What's been your biggest challenge in that group? Like for you?
In the
personally?
group,
Yeah.
getting people to like people are so motivated and like into it after our calls, and then I feel like
It dies off a bit.
they die off, and then I have to. And the thing is, like, you can't do the work for other people, and I keep framing that for them. I'm like, this is about, you've invested money in yourself, show up for yourself, do the thing that you haven't done before, If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same results. So do something different, actually show up, do the work. You're going to get the most out of this that you put in. So, yeah, I think the biggest challenge has been just the girls staying like engaged and like, staying with it. There's been some great, there's been some beautiful feedback in it though, and you can already, it's funny when like they then give you the feedback of them sharing the wisdom that they've learnt to then like their family and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, I actually had a conversation with my partner about
I
this.
used to, like when I was doing the shift with Jacob, I would like, it'd be like 10 o'clock at night. And when I had a partner, I'd I'd get off the call and I'd go straight up to her and I'd be like, hit him, guys, get up, I need to tell you something. And then she'd be like, shut up and go to sleep. And I was like, I got to tell you this. And I like try and tell her, and she just ignore me. There's like so many times I'd like after the calls I'd ring mum or ring someone, be like, I just need to talk to someone, and then just tell them what I've learned. And then when I see them do the shit that I used to do, I'm like, well, if you do this.
I remember doing my first one like 6 years ago for like myself, and this was at a time where, you know, complete fucking dead shit, like, you know, drugs, alcohol, just, you know, completely escaping everything like that. Anyway, this was like week 6. Come out of this bedroom, like shut the door, and Lauren's like in the lounge room drinking a cup of tea. She's like, so how was the call? I'm like, so do you want to hear about masculine and feminine energy? She's like, learned that years ago, babe.
She's like,
catch up, sister.
I can imagine it being like
But she was just like, it's actually really nice to hear that, because, you know, we're not talking about the TAB anymore. We're talking about masculine and feminine.
how
you know?
special is that?
Yeah.
That would have been such a beautiful thing for her to
I was-
to observe about you and your own evolution.
Yeah, I think I said this in a podcast before. Like, we have been together for 14 years, but we haven't really been properly dating until like the last 6 of them.
Wow.
The first 8 was like, yeah, just figuring out ourselves, and then all of a sudden we come together. So, yeah, here we are.
Now they adopted me.
Yeah, took you under our wing.
Fuck yeah.
Part of the family.
Yeah, our oldest son.
Yeah. Down the favourite. You can finally say it.
Fuck.
So we need to cut that.
I didn't hear
Anyway,
it.
I'll get to that. Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, it was really cool, especially learning that type of stuff, and, you know, starting off that program not knowing anything at all, and all of a sudden learning about your mindset, learning about masculine and feminine, emotional regulation, all that type of stuff. That's what started to connect us, because she's like, finally, I can speak to a man, not a fucking child, and not a little boy that wants to run away again. So yeah, it was cool.
And it's like, with that stuff, with anything in life, you only know what you know, and you really limit yourself by staying closed-minded. You know, open yourself up to just at least consider new ways of thinking. You know, and there's so much out there. And the thing is, there's always more.
Always.
There's always more. So, you know, that's just so exciting. And like, you know, there's always more to learn about yourself too, which I think is fascinating.
100%.
Crazy.
Which
how
I
much you can learn about
love.
yourself.
You know, I'm like, ooh, what are we going to learn about me this week? Like,
What's going to come up?
Angels, here we go.
what do you want to tell me tonight?
What
Do you know the coolest thing that I uncovered like yesterday? I was working with a couple of clients, and it was actually off the back of a call with my mum. And I was like, I'm trying to kind of coach my mum. Not properly, like I'm just trying to get her to a point where she'll, and like fully expanded her awareness the other day in our conversation. It was such a beautiful chat. And part of what I said to her, I was like, okay, Mum, close your eyes for a second and just stand in the position of you at 90 years old. And like, what would you say to yourself? And she was like, oh, I don't know, Ellie. And I was like, you just don't want to listen. And it was like just reflecting on, and then I had another chat with a client and it was similar. And this was really beautiful because, you know, we were talking about, you know, in life, she just hasn't done things because of fear of not being good enough at them or not winning. So she's just robbed herself of all these opportunities of doing things that could bring her joy and happiness, you know, regardless of whether you're going to win or not.
Sure.
And I said to her, I was like, you know, I remember as a kid when I was in like primary school and like, you know, doing the sporting carnivals and the swimming carnivals, and my dad being like, Ellie, try, come on, please, like, you know, do your best, it's fun, like. And I remember as a little kid being like, oh, but you know, I'm not going to win and they're better than me, so I just won't even try, won't even actually, you know, give it a decent crack, and I probably would have done all right. And it's like, I was saying to her, I was like, I remember that, and it's like, you know, what I would say to that 7-year-old Ellie now, like, wow.
Yeah.
And it's like, so how about you put yourself into the position of you at 80 or 90 years old, and what would she say to you now? And I was like, because I know what I'd say to 7-year-old Ellie. And she was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk to you soon.
So I'm going to do the dance concert now.
That's like my guy I work with, Tyson. He's been my longest client. He just doesn't know it. Like today at work, one of the trucks didn't turn up for like 40 minutes, and he was standing there and he started getting angry and he was yelling. Then he stopped and he put his head to the sky and closed his eyes and he just went, and then just breathed a few times and he's just like changed his whole mood. And he come over and I was like, "Good work, bro." And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "What did you just do?" And he goes, "Oh, I just took a couple of breaths." And I was like, "Who taught you that?" And he's like, "You do it." And I was like, "Yes,
Yes.
it's working."
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, I do that.
It's good when people around you just start to like pick up on stuff.
Yeah,
It's good.
It's so nice. It's such a good feeling.
Who if people are listening, you specifically said women, working with women.
I'd work
Or
with dudes too.
work with dudes
One
as
of my
well.
friends wants to work with me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's if someone was listening to this, who would be someone that you'd be calling forward? Like what position? What would you be able to do for them? What would you be able to, I guess, allow them to see? What would you say to them? Like what would you be calling them forward for?
What I'm seeing the most similarities in with my clients is just people that have been, I guess, much through a similar situation and journey as I have. And I like to call it the tunnel. You know, I'm like, I went through like a 2-year tunnel where I was just anxious, low. I felt like there was a cloud over me all the time. I couldn't escape my mind. I was so just in all these thoughts and it was hard, it's a challenge for me to find peace.
Sure.
And I was just like, what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? You know, and I know like, you know the essence of what you are and, you know, your vibe and your happiness and what you're capable of. And you're like, I know it's in there. Why can't I just be it? Like, what is this that's on me? And so I guess people that just don't really know what it is and just know that they can't keep feeling like this and that they want relief and they want clarity and they want to drop that sack of rocks or that sack of shit that they've been carrying around forever, you know, and just someone to help them unpack it and to find out what it is and to actually release it.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. There you go,
Like that.
listeners.
Fuck.
Do it.
Just do the fucking work.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Cole's back.
Charles went up.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about the event in November?
Yeah.
Is it November? Yeah, November.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go. You,
It's you. This is you.
You've we come up together with the name, but yeah, you can let the listeners know because it's going to be what we've got planned and what's in our headspace and what we've been speaking about for the past few weeks is it's literally about to what probably next week we'll start to put it out there and stuff like that. But
100%.
yeah,
This is something that.
yeah,
Used
yours.
to me too, eh?
Oh, here we go. Strap
Yeah,
yourself
there you
in.
go. Get ready.
Buckle up.
Put your helmet on, brother.
Strap on.
Yeah, put that
Strap in.
oxygen mask on, bro. Let's go.
Highway to the.
You know what I've actually got? I've
We're
actually
going to
got-
altitude.
Oh, fuck.
I've actually got my portable CPAP machine in my bag right there. So
Oh,
Where are you
Yeah,
going to
it's
Put it
sleep?
on,
Oh, please go
please.
put it
Oi, please put it on right now.
You have to.
For the rest of the podcast, put it on.
you're fucking yeah, right. All right, you tell us about what you're doing.
I
and
can't until you put it on.
Then, Jesus, no,
You will die.
Remember, you got headphones on.
I do.
Well, just letting you know, man.
This is going to be the thumbnail for the video, by the way.
Do you know who's going to
Max
remind me of?
fucking-
Can you take your shirt off and look like Bane? Is it Bane? You know Bane? Yeah. Do you know Bane of Batman? Yeah, it's Batman. No.
It is Batman. One of the best
Probably the best one.
Batman movies. No, second.
No,
Second
the
best.
one with
One with Heath Ledger. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the best one.
I haven't watched that.
Haven't you? Are you fucking serious?
Please don't hurt me, Kyle.
That is so many
I'm
calls
Chad.
already.
That's the best one. That's
Which
probably my
one's
favorite
Chad?
movie. No,
Chad.
What?
probably second or third favorite movie.
Chad?
I'm
what?
Chad.
Yeah, who's Chad?
Well, he's
Well,
Carl.
he's Carl.
Yeah, but
I'm Chad.
what character's Chad?
I don't know, just an
Embody.
American fucking douchebag. You know, I'm Chad.
I'm Chad.
I'm Chad, bro.
I play football.
I play football.
Fuck off.
We're on. I'm on. Let's do it.
You look like an elephant.
No, just picture this. Just
Hang
picture
on,
this.
hang
At the end of this, I'm going to get a couple of photos
Oh, dear.
of you and him, right? And then on the thumbnail of the video, it'll be you crying and him like this. That's the thumbnail of the video. Holy shit.
Mate, this shit saves my life.
Listeners, if you are only listening to this, you need to go to YouTube and watch this because holy fuck me swinging.
This thing saves my life, mate.
Looks like it.
We good?
Little sleepovers. Just hang on a second. Just roll.
Wait, can I take that home to Alia?
Would you imagine you like picking up and then just like pulling that out of your
Going home on a one night stand. Just hang on a second before we go to
like,
sleep.
good night. And he like kisses her on the cheek and he like pulls the little nozzle out of the way.
I tell you what, though. I do.
Do you know what though? Being a girl that fucking hates snoring, and I would be livid if I took a boy home and then he snored all night. If a
Why'd you take it
guy
off?
actually showed that much care and consideration to be like, I brought this so you don't have to deal with the other me.
I'll just sleep on the lounge.
I think it would be nice.
That
Have a
is
spoon with that though.
He wraps it around and pulls it around.
It's like a seatbelt.
It's like a
It's like a seatbelt.
I
I love that's your main question. How do you spoon with that?
You do. You can do it. You can do it. Just
It brings you closer together.
it does.
Is
You
that
want to
something
break?
She rolls on the other side of bed. It's
Like a
lasso.
lasso.
No.
Come over
You're
here.
not going anywhere.
The chick's like, is that something in your pocket? You're excited to see me. You're like, no,
Oh no!
No,
it's just my Top Gun machine.
She's like, oh wow, that's what?
Oh my god, babe, a ribbed. Okay, we've got something ribbed.
Ribbed.
Amazing.
And gee, it's long. Why is it so twisted?
Oh man, this is the best thing ever.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Oh my god,
Oh,
I'm sweating. I'm sweating from this,
Oh.
and my eyes are leaking.
Okay, all right.
That was
event.
funny. Okay, so now that you're safe, so everybody,
Drop it up.
Oh my god.
yeah. So we're doing an incredible workshop
Yes.
together, which is so amazing.
Yes. Can't wait.
So in collaboration, we've named ourselves the Newcastle Conscious Collective.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yep.
The NCC.
Yep.
NCC baby.
And so myself, the Polaris team,
Yep.
our buddy Trav from up at the Sunshine Coast, legend, and also his connection, who also lives in Newcastle. His name's Ant.
Yep.
And so we're collaborating to create this incredible event called Alchemy of the Soul.
Yep.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And essentially it's all about being able to reconnect with your divine masculine and divine feminine energy and to be able to get into a state of flow where you can move in between both, because often we find, you know, for example, let's give you an example. So say a woman, she grew up and she had a bit of a shitty dad, right? You know, and, you know, she didn't feel like she had that masculine energy to protect her. So she's put up some guards and had to kind of step into that energy for herself to protect her and make her feel safe. Similar to if someone went through heartbreak, you know, okay, I'm never going to let anyone hurt me again. I'm going to kind of take care of myself and put my walls up because, yeah. And then, you know, for a woman to just stay in their masculine energy, what are they going to attract? They're going to attract guys in their feminine energy. And then if you've got someone in your life and you guys are out of balance like that, it's going to build up resentment. It's going to build up anger. And, you know, there's going to be problems like, you know, in life. So
Yeah.
do you have anything to expand on that, Jake?
No, I think that's it. I think you smashed it. I think it's first of all, I don't think Newcastle's seen anything like this before, especially at the level that we're going to play at.
Definitely not.
Especially with, like, there's been events in Newcastle, but I feel like it's only been like this person's or that person's. People haven't really come together to create something yet.
Yeah.
There's a guy up at the Gold Coast whose name's Jacob O'Neill. They have a event on this weekend called the Gathering of Men. 150 men coming together in the hinterlands, and they're just like, yeah, they're fucking going for it. But like that's a collaborative thing up there as well. So it's like heaps of guys that have come together that have created this massive thing up there as well. I think it'll be the same as what we've got down here. So yeah, I'm excited.
It's going to be
pumped.
amazing, and it's
Yeah.
gonna give men the license to step into their power, into
Yeah.
their masculine energy, to be able to show controlled power to women, without being, you know, labeled dangerous or intimidating or this or that.
Yeah.
And it's going to give women the opportunity to actually stand in their feminine and, you know, feel safe and held and supported by the divine masculine.
Yeah.
Which is going to be so beautiful and so powerful. So, you know, it's a great opportunity for people to come with their partner, you know, and to be able to see each other in a new light for the first time.
Yeah, yeah. So, all 4 of us that Ellie just said before are going to be there. Max, Acacia, Jess, myself, Tahi will be away,
I
but
won't be there. Sorry.
all of us will be there. And, yeah.
Do we have a date?
Yeah. Is it?
25th of November.
Yeah.
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 What
So
a-
it's the weekend after our 2-day event.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm off.
Yeah.
I'm off. I'm there.
There you go.
I would have just come back from Master Prac too, so I'm going to be just.
You're gonna be
absolute-
on.
I'm going to be ascending.
You come here, sit.
I will be floating over to you with healing hands of wisdom. No, I don't know. Maybe.
You know, probably.
So,
Keep it
Jake,
consensual.
give us some more examples of how, like, and what can happen, like the disharmony that people can experience in life with people who are out of balance. In like, what speak from a male's perspective.
Yeah, well,
What's it like for a guy to be in his feminine energy and not actually to be able to step into their masculine energy?
I think, Max, you'd be a good person to speak about this.
Hello.
In regards to being
Hey.
deep within that. I reckon you can give great examples for that.
So, well, do you mind repeating that? So how someone needs to go in their feminine.
Yeah, no. So tell me from a man's perspective, if you are kind of stuck in your feminine energy and not actually able to stand in your power as a man, what does that do for you? What disharmony does that create in your life?
Well, I feel if you are a man and you are, you know, quite a feminine man, and that is okay. That it really is okay to be a feminine man. Like it's just, you know, if you're more in your feminine energy than your masculine, that's fine. But you'll probably find that you would let your emotions take control a little more of your life, and you'll make decisions based emotionally rather than a little bit more logically, coming out with a set of eyes that's like, well, what is the best decision for me, for my circle, and where to go forward. Because as men, I feel we do, you know, we sort of make decisions like based on that fact. We're like, okay, well, these are the facts in front of us. We get after it.
Yeah,
That's our
masculine is
energy.
definitely more logical.
We get after it a bit. So if you are deep in your feminine, then those decisions aren't always right. And then when they go wrong, which, you know, unfortunately they probably will, if you're doing it based on emotion, you'll then keep perpetuating this emotional response, and then you kind of let it go out of control. So, you know, trying to claim that back is doing things that, you know, are a little bit more where you can control it. Like, you know, for one, health and fitness is a great way to control yourself. Especially in your mass, and getting after it, and then you have clear set goals and things like that you can achieve, and then that's, you know, things that you can see that you're actually achieving what you're doing. It's a little bit more, I'd say it's a little bit more tangible to achieve and see that you're actually getting after it than something like, oh, I want to earn this amount of money by this date or something, because sometimes, you know, things happen that you can't really control, like life, and then that fund will go.
The only reason why I pass it over to Maxi, because you would be deeper in your feminine compared to what I am a lot more of the time.
100%.
And the challenge for me is that getting into the feminine, that's my challenge.
Yeah.
So like if you come to reconnection events, I'm in my feminine pretty much the whole time.
Yes.
But like outside of that, oof,
Yeah, like I find
back to this, right? And not necessarily that it's completely shut off, but it's just like, all right, this, got to get this content, got to get this done. Tahi, you doing this, we on this, da, 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 da. It's like masculine is like point A is here, point B is there.
Can
Like, I'm on
anyone
it.
speak to an example of being in a relationship with someone where your partner's been in their masculine and you've been in your feminine? And can you speak of?
Yeah, mate.
Well, I'm not so much in my feminine in relationships. Like most of my relationships, I've been real deep in my masculine, and the last one I was in, we were probably both in our masculine.
What happened there?
Just a lot of conflict,
Yes.
and
She
like-
didn't feel safe to let her guard down to go into the
a
feminine.
little bit. I think sometimes she would, but then I wouldn't feel safe to go into my feminine either. So that's why we weren't balancing very well. And there was just like a lot of arguments and stuff just because of that. And then like now, after that, doing all the work on myself, I now realised like I could have done so much different, and like now I know how to kind of be more in my feminine. But like with girls, I never really had a girl who's put me into that, or like made me feel safe enough to do that.
Yeah.
I think I've gone like I have once, and when I was engaged, and then all that went pretty bad. So like my wall went straight back to masculine when my walls come back up, and I don't want to go back into it. But now it's more like trying to be more feminine into that type of energy, I guess, and I understand it from that way. But yeah, since doing the work and looking back, I now know the difference between masculine and feminine, and how to be more. So you can kind of tell a chick's in a masculine noise the way she puts up her walls and stuff. So then mine now it's like okay, don't fight against that, like work with that, and then step into my feminine to allow her to be in hers. And once she gets in hers, then bring back the masculine in a positive way, not a toxic way.
Yeah, show her that she can be safe to stay where she is in that feminine energy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's like, I had another question there around that from a guy's perspective. Why is it important to be able to be in both masculine and feminine energy for a male?
It softens the other person while also shows them that they're safe as well.
I think
That's
safe
the
is
main thing.
the biggest thing.
It's like you can soften and be safe within this, but also know that someone is by your side that is going to do the best for you, is going to protect you, that's going to serve for you, that's going to be, the utmost for you. Which then works in tandem, right? Yin and yang. It's like you feel that, okay, cool, I can soften a bit more. Oh, I got more protection.
And what's
okay, let me
that do
soften
for
bit
a
more.
guy, though? It gives you the license to actually be able to be vulnerable as well and share the shit that's going on internally for you as well, because that's important. Historically, men have never really felt safe or been given the license to actually express their emotions, and then they get to bloody mid-30s and they're like, fuck, why am I so angry?
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much what happened to me. It's like I got to that point where I was so deep in my masculine. Like I was at the times I did go into a feminine, I obviously got hurt, and then I just wouldn't let it go back. And then now it's so much like I know how to handle it a lot better, because like growing up you don't get taught how to deal with that, and how to like what a healthy relationship looks like until you have one with yourself, and then that's when like the relationship I have with myself now is like I know how to treat someone now, and like because it's the exact same way I want to be treated. The way I treat myself is how I'll treat someone else.
Spot on, man.
Imagine if we got taught these things when we were 5.
Oh my goodness.
Imagine, right? Like, I've been noticing it with my kids at the moment. I've said this to my women clients, not this Wednesday because I was sick, but the week before that. I was walking out the door to come down to do a call, and Ali come up. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing tonight, Daddy?" I'm like, "Oh, I've got to go down and coach." She's like, "Oh, who are you coaching?" I'm like, and then Luke is like, "Haki?" I'm like, "No, not Haki." And she's like, "Oh, who are you coaching?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm with the women's group tonight." She's like, "Oh, powerful women," like that. I was like, it stopped me, and I was like, yes, exactly right. And then as I was walking out the door, Luca was getting angry, and he was like, and then grabbed the pillow, screamed into it, put the pillow down, and he was like, went up to his sister, gave her a cuddle. I was like,
Fuck, man.
this is exactly what I wish 40, 50, 60-year-old people knew, what I just saw.
Whoa.
Conversing. He had anger built up, and I've been teaching it for him since he was pretty much born. Same with Ali. I'm like, you don't have to hit someone and lash out. I know the instant reaction when you get angry is like, fuck you, and want to hit someone. But if you take a moment and go, okay, I can direct this anger into something that's like a material base, like a lounge or something like that. You release the energy, all of a sudden, every other emotion's going to start coming through.
You just taught those kids how to emotionally regulate themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. So I watched it. He was just like something, I think it was these phone tripods. We've got one at home.
Oh.
Long story, but he thinks
thinks
that's a
whippersnipper.
whippersnipper.
Oh, it does.
So
look
he's
so
like
funny.
a
He's just saying.
Around the house.
I went around the other day and he's just like, he's like, Jay goes, go show Tahi, and he gets it. He looks at me and he goes, man, and starts hitting it. I was just like,
So he goes
"Nice."
around the house and like clips like the carpet and stuff like that. So anyway, but these like come out and go back in. And he couldn't get it to go back in. And he was like getting frustrated. He was like trying to get it in, and he threw it. And he's just like, "Argh!" And he was just about to throw it at Alia. And he's like this. And he's like put it down. Went and grabbed like a lounge cushion.
Also just giving him like self-awareness too. This is wild.
He's literally gone from in the last 3 months to like just grunting around the house. Now he has like full words. He even knows who I am now. Doesn't get scared.
Wow.
Well.
Well,
That's
first
amazing.
5 minutes, he's
But
like,
that,
who the
that's
fuck's this?
that's my driving force, because I'm like, what I'm doing is working.
Yeah.
Like what I'm teaching him, what I'm teaching other people, it's working. Because if we had a generation like these two that were just doing that, how different things would be.
Oh,
you know?
100%.
It took me 28 years to understand my emotions.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's your
Oh no, that's what I'm
journey.
saying. I was like,
That's my
imagine
journey
if I had that when I
too.
was
Yeah.
younger.
Still learning. Like,
Shit.
there's still some emotionals and thought spaces. I'm like, what is this?
I get not sad, but I cried this morning going for a run because the moon looked so sick, and I was just so happy. I was running with my arms like this. I was like, yes, this is so good.
Oh, that makes my heart.
Yeah, and I was just come back, and I was just like, I just started shadow boxing. I was like, fuck yes. I was like, let's go.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, like just like little things like that. Just
Life gets to be
understand.
fucking good.
Yeah,
You know, and that's why it's important to be able to get to know yourself.
yeah.
Find out why you are the way you are, and understand that, if you've gotten to a point in your life where you're like, why do I feel like this? Like, it doesn't have to stay like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're the captain of your own shit, bruh.
Yep.
No, that's
And for
beautiful.
people that are listening as well, now there's going to be a space where us and Ellie and Trav and Ant are going to create a space for you to be able to do it. So, if you have been listening to this and you're like, I have been on the fence about starting some work or something like that, we literally have an event in like 2 months, just over 2 months' time, well, just under 2 months' time now,
Yeah.
that we're going to,
And
it's going to be
literally
amazing.
the perfect starting point.
Yeah, and like you said, it can be just by yourself, it could be in a partnership, it can be,
First thing you've ever done.
friends, first thing you've ever done. It'll be completely introductory while also doing some advanced pieces as well. So yeah, it's gonna be fucking awesome, and especially like the amount of people that we're gonna have there as well. Like I won't say the amount that we're looking at, but it's gonna be insane.
And something that I just bloody dropped into me then, like, how I've touched on a couple of times that it's like, stand in the energy of your 80 or 90-year-old self. Do that. Like, if this is something in your mind that you're like, oh, should I? And then there's that voice that's like, yeah, you should. And it's like whispering and you can't really hear it. And then there's this other voice like, no, fuck that, meh. Stand in the energy of your 90-year-old self. You've got to, your days are, there's only a few days to go. Wait, sorry, I'm painting a really sad picture. Your days are limited. You're 90, maybe you're 100.
Oh fuck, man!
Okay. Stand in your 100-year-old self.
Thank you, Espo.
You've lived a long life. You've hit the century.
Yep.
Life has been pretty good. And and you're thinking about this event. You're like, should I do it? Should I not? Stand in your 100-year-old energy and then see what that person has to say back to you right now.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So
Because if you
Get
don't
ready.
go, you don't go.
just do it.
I've got that tattooed on my leg. If you don't go, you don't go. Yeah.
Good reminder.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, my foot keeps going on.
Yeah.
It's true. You don't know what you could miss out on. You just get, keeping yourself in a box.
100%. 100%. So yeah, this comes out. Will probably
don't
come
know,
out
man.
tomorrow because I'll have to edit it. But yeah, we'll start promoting in a few days' time.
Yeah, shit.
Yeehaw.
Get some sick content happening.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
It's going to be mint. It's going to be literally like, it's going to rock your world.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty much. Technically, your first in-person event. Technically,
Yeah.
yeah.
How long is
Yeah.
it going for, the event?
Pardon?
How long is it going for?
6 hours.
6 hours ish. Yeah.
Do you reckon you can FaceTime me while I'm running?
Absolutely.
I can just be on the big screen, just listening, just vibing away.
Just have you on like a.
I'll do the angry release. Everyone just yell. Get me through this shit.
Yeah, ties are like, ties. Screaming his shits off. He's like, I can feel the energy. I feel the collective. I'm going.
NTC, baby.
NCC, baby. Present.
Fucking hell. But if you guys have any questions about that, hit us up, hit Ellie up, and we'll respond ASAP. Rocky, thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it. Max, you got anything to finish on, mate? You good?
Mate, I'm pretty blown
He's
away.
going over the fucking.
How about this,
cuddle up and
Maxie? What's the
snore.
meaning of the world?
Hey,
What's the meaning of the world?
what's the meaning of the world?
Yep.
Love.
There you go. What a way to finish. Where can they find your socials?
On the gram,
Yep.
Elly Miles, ELLY, Miles, MILES.
I was
There you
like,
go.
yes, what was it?
Spell that.
That's how you'll find me.
There you go. And you
Tell you
find
to
us
Search
at,
bar, enter.
Hit.
There you go.
Boom.
you find us at Polaris POLARIS coaching COACHING. That challenged me then. I'm not doing that again.
I was like,
All right.
Dar, your turn, mate. Go on, spelling bee champion.
I'm good, bros.
I actually was in 2011.
Well, yeah.
I won on ambiguous, that word.
Ooh.
Did ya?
Yeah, go
Did
on,
you-
Tahi.
nope.
Spell it for
Nope.
me.
Nope. We've already done spelling bees.
We've already done
You have
spelling
to-
bees. I'd ate fucking hot
Hot chili.
sauce in the car. It was very spicy.
So a sriracha sauce is like
3,000?
3,000 Scoville rating. So Scoville rating's like
Yes, I've
heat.
seen the
He
wing.
did the bomb, which is
It was
165,000.
fucked.
Yeah.
Worst thing ever.
He was like, oh yeah, the first one's not too bad. I'll have a second bite. Did a second bite.
So
Just shell of a human. Just went.
he was fucked.
I would never.
The apprentice got in the car yesterday and he's like, what's this? And I was like, have a little bit. It's not bad. So he tips his finger in it, puts it on his tongue, and he's just sitting there and he's just like, ooh. And he just started sweating.
So
And he's just sitting there looking around. He's like, just shaking like this. I was like, you good? And he's just like, what's happening? And I was like, and he was just dying. And I was like, I pulled into a servo, got him a drink. And he going to get a haircut. He gets out and he's just like, I think I just lost 5 kilos. I was like, yeah. I was like, you're so sweaty. Yeah. I had to give him one of his shirts out of the car because his work shirt was just filth. I was just like, we gotta go to the barber shop, like, man.
I tell you what, man.
I would
This,
never.
Do you want to try it?
No, yeah.
Do you want to try something? It's in the car.
No fucking
It's
way.
not that bad.
No, please no.
So this is how much reach we're actually getting. So
Not
I
no,
would hit
thank
up
you,
at
no,
work.
please.
I hit up at work and they said, "Oh, did he actually do it? And did you have a go?" I said, "I had a go. Yeah, fuck me." But I said, "Oh, I couldn't."
Max
taste
thought he
my
was so
oats."
good, eh? Max tried it and he goes, not that bad. And I was like, wait a second, brother. And then it hit him and he's
Wait
like,
a second, brother.
and then he just hit, just dying. eh?
I could not taste my oats and protein after that. It was fucked. I was in so much trouble. But anyway, yeah, my mate, another OCE comes over. He goes, "Oh, did Tahi actually do it?" I said, "Yeah, he did." He goes, "So he told me about obviously the hot ones or whatever we got it from." He's like, when you do that particular one, the dub on, like that isn't. I know it's just not quite as hot as on the Scoville scale.
What do you
But
mean?
apparently it's a different sort of
Compared to the other ones.
yeah, but apparently it's got a different sort of burn, that long lasting burn that really fucks you up. And apparently if you can make it to that, you can go the whole way. Like because it burns your tongue, fucks you up that much that the other two that are like in the millions just doesn't affect you. Not as bad as what the bomb did. So
Shit.
you actually did a fucking top.
So
They
there's-
changed the order. Put the bomb at the.
Well, because
the
it's
So
end.
that's 165, and then the top one is 2 million.
Yeah, but if they reckon dub bomb and then
It's
then
just a
following dub
different
bomb,
burn.
I'd put dub bomb at da end.
Da, brah.
And then have
Da, oisy.
the other one,
Spies. Yeah, no,
bam, and then the bomb.
Don't start.
That's what I
get
do.
into it.
Sorry.
But yeah, it was
Well,
a
I
very
wouldn't,
bad
'cause I wouldn't
experience.
do it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he was curled up in that little lounge
I
there
just-
for 50
yeah.
minutes. He
Yeah,
was
I was
And then you had to do a
I was
podcast after it.
I would not have.
Should have seen me at the start for like the first 15 minutes. I was just like this. I just had the mic and I was like, just talking to him. The guy's just sitting there. And I was just, he's like, is he alright? I was like, just let me go.
Just-
Just let me go.
Can you leave actually?
Get out.
But then I finally come back halfway through. I remember just sitting up and just being like, oh, podcast is on. I'm ready to go. Finally come back to it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nah, I would never.
Yeah.
I don't
don't.
really enjoy spicy food.
Look, you want to lose a bit of weight, have something. You'll probably be shitting for a few days, but
And sweating.
yeah, and sweat.
And sweating.
Profusely sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
thank you.
Sorry,
Wow.
apprentice.
What a great way to end the podcast.
Yeah, all right. Enough with the dribble. All right.
All right,
Catch
thanks.
us later. See you next week. Max Fade to Black, baby.
Post.
Hooroo.